InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic beings. Anybody else have some great dreams, visions, or intuitive insight happening for them? So the energy of our body, the root of who we are, meets our intuition, our spiritual self. So this really is the energy body demystified. It's one of my offerings. And it just feels super good to kind of take some kind of action, if you will, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I must digress for the energy of today. Sorry, I've got things happening around my village here. But the root, that's like our sacral and our root, our emotions and our intuition. So it's like, what do we feel like taking action, the insight, or having some insight into our personal actions, the I am, consciousness, state of awareness. Like, where is the line? What is the message? What is spirit trying to deliver in the messages? So through our higher self, our gatekeeper, a guardian, even an angelic being, really. So with that, my musing podcast, Musing with Tanya D, it's all about Archangel Ariel, and angelic being that's associated with the season of Aries. Be sure to check that out in your inbox. It's about to go out the gate here. But soon also I'll be going to open up a new stage to the Rising of the Origin, where you're going to be able to see that on a variety of social media channels, just removing some energetic hiccups, getting to the core of our personal processor, going to a place of play, like who is the director, who is the character, what's the intuitive insight, the being. So this is going to be like this 5-day immersion. But with all of that, welcome to today's Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I am a practicing holistic shamedium, a subtle energetic surgeon. My thing really is to merge these indigenous technologies, the spirit of the Dagara from Burkina Faso, with the subtle energies, elements, elemental beings, really taking people from the elemental realm, that highway, into the realm of the imagination, with offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really juice up our container and see things from a different worldview. But really, honestly, my intention is to truly merge these indigenous wisdoms, this technology, with the subtle realms, the etheric highway, to assist you into navigating your own inner genius, the light that resides within you, the magic, really. My name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you haven't already, please be kind and do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tanya D. Go ahead and hit the bell button so you're notified. And also, if you don't mind, liking the video or commenting and sharing, so the algorithm really echoes me out to other like-minded musers in the galactic universe like yourself, along with those other social channels like Instagram and TikTok, and obviously my podcast. But with the energy of today being where we are in touch with our intuitive self, our intuition channel, like, what is the gift of intuition? It might be a feeling, sister, a knowing, a vision, a voice, another worldly voice. If you're not sure, go ahead and take my Change Your Stars quiz. And just know, like the guardian of our galaxy, our spidey senses change with time and space too. So the being I am today is not the same as the being that I was yesterday or yesteryear. But being also, the beings, that we have Ariel online for the season of Aries. Our day really is all about grounding our intuition through the root, and Ariel is the nature magic. So with that, I'm going to go with the oracle, the seers, the shaman, for our messages of today, if that makes galactic juicy sense. Oopsie, getting a little ahead of myself here. La 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 la. And my phone is going off. I don't like that. Hang on one second. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. And of course, Sir Didymus is at my feet. But the message from the middle world, if you will, the middle world really is our day-to-day reality. That is the realm. It's a playground for the living. So it's the present moment where everything is really happening, like right now in the moment. But also, the middle world is created by the future, not only the past. So it's this mirror. It's a reflection of these invisible realms. When things are right in the middle world, correct, like right, things are going in the flow. Heaven and earth, support us. Heaven and earth will move mountains for us. However, when they're not in the right aspect, in the right course, heaven and earth might be brought into alignment, or that's the frequency. But being that this is I don't know if you can see the number 36 on the bottom corner there. But it's like we're open, or are we getting ready open to receive the insight from the heavens that we can believe in or have faith in? And in doing so, can we act with that insight and take it to the next level? But the medicine, being that the message is otherworldly, it's not necessarily to correct things in the earth realm. What we feel needs to be corrected in the heavenly realms, but the resources to support the change, or, things that aren't maybe quite readily available at the moment. So it's important to ask for help from the invisible realms, the guardians, the gatekeepers, the helpers, the beings that are unseen in the upper world. It really is now like to take a time and take a pause and just wait, see what comes in. Intuition, right? The guidance there. And then we have the ancient ones, which is super juicy. I don't know if you see the number in the corner there. It's 1, which is the sun, the fun of the sun. Let me turn that off. Thank you very much. And the sun is really when it starts to get fun. And we're in the season of Aries, so things are springing to life. So it's like the ancient ones, the watchers, they're ready. They're acting on wisdom. And it's kind of like this ancient wisdom. That's where we're shining, like right now, right now. So it's our actions, it's our character, it's our ego, behaviors. I kind of feel like it is the I am statement, but the ancient ones are the shamans of the old, the medicine people of the old with the wisdom, who defeated death. They escaped the tyranny of that time, that space, that era. And they once walked the earth just like us. They were in the flesh and the bone and the blood, and they kind of reside in infinity. It kind of reminds me of a Marvel character, Infinity. I think there was a character called Infinity. But they can counsel us after we have awakened or awoken to our calling, to say yes, to live our purpose. So they're available to help us attain our full galactic realization, our inner genius, our potential. But being also that this one is otherworldly, possibly our light isn't shining so bright. Maybe we're not wanting to hear the message of who we are in our fullness. They're really kind of asking us or calling us in to pray, do an invocation, maybe examine our actions and our attitudes, Aries energy, right? And just to be sure that we're in alignment with our highest integrity. So also, not forgiving an ancestor or even ourselves, that kind of keeps us from the freedom that we often seek. Sometimes we're bogged down by those channels, but just remember that this is no longer our karma. We've already kind of worked through that, and we're breaking the chains that are, sometimes they bind us to the drama of our families, the chaos. So just be free of any of those otherworldly negativity, kind of generational kind of curses or blockages. Just forgiving the ones that we need to release, and just honor the biological being within us, our ancestors, light a candle for them. I go to my altar, my shrine all the time. I have a candle burning of some kind or an offering, always sitting there. But the ancient ones, they remind me of actually the watchers of the field. And let's see, there we go. And then our next message is the giveaway. We've had this one a few times, as I can see, but it's card 23. So this is like our feelings. Like, do we trust our feelings? Do we believe our feelings? What is the belief that we feel inside of ourselves? And when they're in alignment, then we can be mindful of what we believe authentically inside of ourselves and what we feel in the cosmic soup, that highway. So our feelings generally will never lie to us, right? Animals can tell that. It's a frequency, you get the feeling. But our beliefs tend to be modeled or patterned. Patterns often that we need to dismantle to make sure that they are, in fact, or in truth, our own beliefs. But the giveaway is like the gift that we offer to life of being here. And we do this kind of offering without any attachment, without any expectations of having anything in return. But honestly, we can only give, what's authentically ours to gift, whether it's a smile, a greeting, an act of encouragement, a hug, a kind word. I think we need a lot more kindness in the world and lots more of huggings and acts of encouragement. I tell people all the time they're doing great. I think we all need to hear that. So this is also not giving others what we no longer want. It's the gifting of that which is precious. It's our authentic selves, authentic love, genuine heartfelt feelings. I spent the weekend cleaning my garage, my patio, all the things, but I'm gifting a lawnmower that I don't use to somebody who just bought a house. Just recycling the gift. It's been occupying space, not being used. So it's going to go somewhere else where somebody else is going to be loving it instead of just sitting in a shed collecting dust, kind of like a treadmill. That might be happening too. But being that it is otherworldly, it's kind of funny. Every card today has been otherworldly. So there's been some messages. I think it's like streams coming in from the other world. That's kind of how I see that as well. So you might find that sometimes it's difficult for each and every one of us to kind of put limits or boundaries on how much we give of ourselves to the other. So if we give more to the other than what's healthy to ourselves, then we lose the steam, the vitality. We're not able to give for long. It goes back to that oxygen mask on the airplane, put it on yourself first. So oftentimes in doing that, we can feel the resentment with people, whether it's at work, family, or friends, because the gift wasn't given without an attachment. So we might feel like the world owes us something in return. So just kind of pay attention, take note, if you will. If you give for any reason other than just pure generosity and being grateful that you can give, or are you trying to be liked or accepted in somewhere, or maybe even healing an old wound? So just start giving to yourself first, seriously, authentically, just offering yourself personal self-care, love, time, and space, and just accepting who you truly are and where you belong. So once we start experiencing gratitude in the bounty, then we can truly give to others. And we have a message also for Victoria, if that is you tuning in. Can't tell because it only says Facebook user. However, you get the moon. And if you, honestly, whoever's watching, if you'd like a message for your day, just comment or share my snippet, and I will also grab a message for you as well. However, we have the moon, which who doesn't love the moon? I am a reflector in human design, so everything I do is literally by the moon. The moon really is our emotions. And I literally will take 28 days before I make a decision. I'm sure it makes people crazy, but I have to kind of literally feel into every aspect of the moon, every gate of the moon in human design. But the moon is also the ebb and the flow. It's the magic in the night sky. It's going from darkness to light or light to darkness. But this one, being that it's card 37 and it's not otherworldly, so this is like the juice is on. So this tells me that our emotions are threading through what we believe, what we intuit. So our intuition and our beliefs need to be in alignment in order for us to manifest or bring to manifestation the feelings that our heart desires. So just having a boundary around things, boundaries are generally not seen in the subtle realms, but we still can create them. Boundaries around our heart and what we feel. So it's kind of like this coagulation of the two, like these added additives, I guess, that you'd add to your secret sauce, your spaghetti sauce, if you're me. But the intuition, like to move it into motion. But again, the moon takes 28 days, right? That's how the moon manifests. So it's got this progression that is steady from the darkness to the light, and then it's going to cycle back or circle back through again. So just being that it really is the magic in the night sky, this is when all the other elementals literally come out, is in the night. Their daylight is our nighttime, and our nighttime is their daylight. So it really has this impact that is powerful. It's otherworldly, and it plays a role on our psyches. But it's offering us this certainty, if you will, that after periods of emptiness or darkness, there's always light in the darkness. It's just waiting for us, even if it's a glimmer or a sparkle. So we can actually be reborn into a new phase. So just being renewed through that cycle of 28 days, even that influence, the ebb and the flow of the waters of the earth, that same power comes back and in turn affects our human feelings, our emotions. It's the reflection. It really is the mirror. It reminds me of like scrying in the crystal ball, if you don't mind. But it's rising. It's coming out from the unconscious, out of hiding. And the moon herself spends equal time in the dark. Same with the light of the sun, right? So it's coming out to remind us of the balance. So, if you've been too focused on the outer world, what the outer world perceptions is, maybe producing something, manifesting social stuff, engagements, I guess, or if you spend too much time hiding from the outer world, not wanting to interact or show your face in the closet. So I would kind of meditate on the significance of the cycles of the moon and let her gently guide you out of those bottomless depths. That's like Scorpio frequency. The depths, Scorpio is still water, while the moon in Cancer is like the bubbling spring, and Pisces is the galactic ocean, the big vision, sometimes seen as an illusion, but I don't see Pisces as that. I see Pisces as spirit, that connection to spirit, the great spirit. So for me, it's all the waters within the moon. But just kind of head back out into the world and creating an outer expression and connect with all the others, even in the unseen, and let them help you make time for yourself, for your feelings, the essential basic human needs, even, and more importantly, the spiritual ones. So it's two sides of that coin. And also, just for curiosity, like where in your, like when you were born, your natal chart, where is your moon? What sign is your moon in? There's more to it than that, but I would pay attention to where the moon is transiting for you right now. Like what house is she visiting? Plus, we have a new moon on the horizon this week, so it's super juicy. But being that the moon right now is in, oh good Lord, it's in Aquarius, but it's at the end degrees, so that is otherworldly. Hi, Tina. So otherworldly, the moon, that really is vibration and frequency. So we might be feeling those frequencies anyway on the highway. That's kind of how I see that. The elemental realm, I think we need to connect more with that full moon in Capricorn. Oh, honey, this is like you're going to be at a crossroads with this new moon. I'm kind of excited for you, actually. It feels juicy. I like things that feel juicy, though. On the elemental highway, so right now, I would kind of see what house the moon is transiting right now in your chart. So it just left Capricorn, it's in Aquarius, before we get the rise of this new moon. Kind of see what house it's in, because that's what's being activated with the card of today. That's just my opinion. If it doesn't resonate, just pull the weed. But on the elemental highway, we have this Yang metal dragon, a Zhang Shan. So this is like an unrefined dragon. He feels kind of scratchy, but our day is like metal. It's dark. Metal needs fire to illuminate it. And yang metal is only useful energetically if it's forged into something. And that can only be done with yin fire, which we have yang fire in the year, but that's not going to work. So the yin fire turns dark metal into a useful tool. So this would be candle lights. And the energy of the rabbit and the tiger, that wood energy, is both, right? It's going to support the fire in doing the job. However, we don't have any fire other than what's hidden, and we can't get to it. So definitely we need fire. It's hidden. So it's there, but we can't get to it. And it's kind of far away. It's clear in the year there. But in nature, the authenticity of a yang metal person, that's represented by raw metals, raw minerals, things in their pure form that haven't been processed. So if this was a person, I would tell them they need the yin fire to be processing to become useful. So people with this day master, they have the potential to become something big once they're honed in and forged like a sword. They become skilled at something, forged into something better, if that makes sense. They are very driven, even though they complain a lot, I might say, but they can also take in a lot of hardships, the kind of shift that life throws at them, and they always survive it. Despite, they often have a facade that's very stern, and they value relationships and friendships highly, and friends, basically friends. So you can count on them to offer a helping hand, especially if you're in need, right? So these people have a sense of justice. A lot of them, I think, make lawyers, judges, fairness, right? or military, lots of military people, but they fight for what's right, and they really have this do or die kind of attitude. They'll go after literally whatever they want. They'll literally cut through anything to achieve their goals. But, you know, in the case where they don't have the direction or the forging element, then you have no direction in your life. So this energy needs experience. They need tough training, because that's the forging, and then they can achieve anything else. So they need a foundation. They can achieve anything in life. So these people, they kind of need a systematic, I almost said problematic, a systematic kind of way to accomplish something. What is a good day if you are a metal element? Fire. You need fire. It depends on your chart, actually. If you don't have any fire, it's hard to forge the things. But once you've been forged or accomplished something, then you have, you kind of have a thought out way, the best way to proceed with something, and stick-to-itiveness. Energetically, you're bound for success. You have focus, you have clarity. And if you don't, then you feel lost. You have no guidance. They're always aiming for the top. They want to be number one above everything else. And if they don't grab that top spot, oftentimes they feel as if they failed. But sometimes these people, these are the ones who don't break down from challenges. I've witnessed this. They seek to win over everything accomplished, right? These are the people who, under the sign, they keep up all their appearances, like their fine dress, their clan. It's very black and white in a weird way. Clean is kind of what I'm seeing, kind of Virgo-y feeling. But they have, they focus more on saving face than anything else. So they like to keep up that appearance of looking good. Sometimes they're blinded by their emotions. They seem to be kind of cool most of the time. But this is the cool part, and I've witnessed this, that once they're in a fight, they tend to lose their ability to be rational and to stay rational, because they will fight until they win. And when they're in that mode of fighting, they really forget the why. They really don't even care the why, even if they have nothing to gain, because they literally soldier on. That's why these people are generally in the military, or if you're a woman, they're estheticians, aesthetic, clean, you know, organized. More than anything else, though, they're also competitive. So for them to find the image that they have for themselves, so these people tend to compare themselves to other people, mostly because they're afraid of failing or the possibility of what that even looks like. They always want to look cool. They want to appear on top of things. And often they appear to people who don't know them as if they're too tough to crack. So to the people who don't know them, that's kind of how they always appear. They fear falling short, comparing themselves to everybody else. But when they feel great and they know they look great, then it's just magic, right? So these are the ones who just won't allow unfairness in the world. They fight for it, especially if they have a loved one, a close friend. But in the same way, they have the tendency to be very stubborn, possibly hasty in the way they act, which could lead to, you know, dire results, actually. But since our day is born in the spring, it's not very strong. So we need more metal element to bring balance. We could also use some earth to add some more strength. Dry earth is going to make metal shine, because the yang metal represents the steel. So when it's not strong, it's going to prefer the fire to forge, to create, right? It's like shape-shifting. And yang wood, which we have plenty of that, it becomes useful and effective with that because it can forge the wood. So these people, they have a specific need. They have a need for pressure, believe it or not. It's like pressure washing. It represents this heavy and this raw metals or minerals that are like right out of the forge in nature. That's why they need fire element to shapeshift them, basically. It's like alchemy. So this allows them to be shaped into a weapon or a tool or whatever they're creating, really. So without pressure, these people, they can become lazy, unable to act on things or make decisions. Metal is also decisions. But these are the people that at a young age, they really need to go through some tough training, like the military schools, if you will, or military itself, highly competitive sports, or a demanding structured school. They're really great at building a great foundation, a future foundation for their future, but they have a habit of accepting pressure. They can deal with that. So the key mindset for them is their development. So Charlie Sheen, believe it or not, he's got this Day Master, which I found interesting. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, very typical yang metal role. And Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, just to give you some ideas. So with that, let's see. I so know what you mean. I am the oldest. Ah, yes. Oh, bipolar. Oh, she's otherworldly. That's a whole nother tangent. I won't go down that rabbit hole. But with the energy today being spiritual, our subconscious, our psychic, our intuitive senses, even the energy of the memory in our bones, our karmic memory, it's kind of this quiet, subtle mixture, delicate, seemingly kind of cosmic soup kind of going on. And it's combining with how we are seen in the physical world, how we see our physical self and our spiritual self. So it's like our higher self. It's these mergings of these two. So this might create a little bit of sensitivity. Even the metal energy is kind of scratchy because it's raw. We might have some triggers today that come up. So really, my thing is to always take time and space, take a breath, take a pause, and connect with who you are inside of you through your spiritual channel. Meditation is always a great thing. I'm a walking meditator. I'm a moving meditator, I should say. Channeling spirits, I kind of feel that. Or kind of look at different spiritual beings that you can call in for assistance. And connecting with our ancestors, of course. That's always a thing. So we did have all of that in the messages today. So generally, you know, this energy is like taking action, maybe being a force of nature. We have the Archangel Ariel online for the whole month. Triggers today. That's hilarious. So really just allowing ourselves to feel through the things that may have pushed our buttons, or possibly we've even pushed through the door. Again, it's that yang metal energy forging into something new, and kind of tune into your behavior. Like, what does that feel like? The energy that you have like within yourself. It's like, is this me? I'm always asking that. Is this me or is this them? But I always have to go back to my center, either through my solar plexus or my heart space. And then I have all my little visitors, is what I'll call them, my otherworldly friends, the Contemplates, the Witamays, just all these beings, the Fae. But in doing that, you too just might discover a new spiritual truth, an acumen about forgiveness to the self, because this is self, letting things go that no longer really serve who you are. It's like getting a new wardrobe. You're like shedding out the things that aren't available in your beingness anymore. Or even having that full realization that oftentimes we are really unnecessarily hard on ourselves, right? So it's always like, look how far we've come on our journey versus where our journey has been, right? It's like, oh yeah, that did happen. But it's okay. That's how we learn. It's like we're in this pressure cooker, releasing the steam, just allowing that shift in like a new way of discovering who we are on the inside, and knowing that we all have intuition. And I give zeros on who doesn't think they have it, which is fine. I won't go down that rabbit hole. But knowing that our intuition is online, this really is a great option if you get there to meditate, call in another worldly being, and be compassionate with yourself. Oftentimes, you know, things may look normal, but then our intuition comes in and we're like, woo! Gives us that feeling sensation that is otherworldly. Sometimes, you know, gives us a bad vibe, but, you know, it's just waking us up. So it's also like, if you feel like you don't belong with something within yourself or with somebody else, that's okay. You know, that might come up today. I have things all the time where I do and I don't belong. And energetically, if I feel like I don't belong somewhere, I literally just leave. And it's okay because it's about me, right? I have to stay in tune with myself. So I would really tune into your intuition to determine where you do belong in this world and possibly where you no longer belong. And also, more importantly, being compassionate, being kind to ourselves, you know, giving ourselves the kind word for the day. Just saying. Maybe learn something new that inspires you, create a new system or systematic boundaries around you, and you just kind of have to hold the force field in the way, be a Jedi Knight. Sometimes we have to clean out the cosmic village, right? So really, I would say connect with your higher elevated self, your spiritual self, and the Dagara cosmology is called our Sira. It's what we look like in the other realms. Super juicy. We all have a Sira. Be forgiving. And sometimes, you know, patterns are going to come up, and they literally become clear. It's like they come out of the mud, just showing us the lesson of how we've been treating ourselves, or maybe not treating ourselves, or loving ourselves. Those are keys. Those are access points. So whatever comes forward, that information might just be the universe or the other world, because you know I'm otherworldly, and all the cards were otherworldly today too. So just bring blessings of gratitude to each and every one of us, really on a day like today. So with our crown online, we've got the spiritual connection, our intuition. So it's like God, universe can like pop down the little plant, the seed into our root center. Some of us will get those bodily feelings where others literally get the visions. Some people hear voices. Doesn't really matter as long as you tune into what feels juicy to you. But it's the ong, it's the sound of ong. That's the seed sound of the crown. You can channel that in, breathe it in all the way down to your root, bring it down to the root, and just exhale out into the earth plane. The earth star, the 5 axis, right below our booty call. But, you know, it's like, what are the messages from the heavenly realm? You know, I haven't really watched much news or heard anything lately. Sometimes it's the calm right before the storm. However, I did see that the cute Foo Fighters guy transcended the earth plane, the drummer. So may your ancestors welcome you home. So yeah, that's kind of where I see that one going. But fire is also a great seed sound for the day, or light a candle, forging our thoughts to a new positive light, right? Forging the metal. Metal works as well because we're low on metal frequency. Other than computers are a metal frequency as well. So it's kind of wishy-washy, maybe cleansing. But fire and metal would be elements I would ground into energetically. But it could also be a star, ether, or air as well. Those are different forms of fire, mineral, or metal and stone. Just be creative. Be the star that you are. We can all channel into all of these elementals. You know, I think elementally we all have this ability, but we've been trained, right? To ground, we go to the earth. Well, maybe to ground, you might need to go to that star that we are. So with all of that, an affirmation for the day. I affirm I am listening to my authentic nature, accepting otherworldly guidance, and I also would be doing an offering out to the beings of the other world. Just saying, whatever that looks like for you. An offering, sometimes an offering could just be anything really, just going out in nature and sitting there and doing an offering at my shrine. Sometimes, like my mom, I'm going off on a tangent. I do an offering to the otherworldly beings all the time. Full moons, new moons, you know, anytime there's like a little chaos happening in my village. So an offering could just be an offering of a bowl of water, milk, honey, just things the other world might like. It might even be seeds and nuts with the birds, or coffee, morning coffee with the other worldly. Just saying, that's how strange I am. However, with all of that, I appreciate you. I'm grateful you showed up today. And Tina, I'll pull a card for you tomorrow. And as always, InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you. And I'll see you on the other side.